In this Speak for Money tape, you will learn what it takes to turn your expertise and life experiences, which could be inspirational, motivational, or educational, into cash money for you and your family. Come with me to Lanham, Maryland, and we'll see what it takes to speak for money. Oh, it's been a long day, but it's been a great day, hasn't it? We're in the last home stretch to turn all these techniques that you've learned today and show you how to turn it into money. That's one of the reasons that we're here in this module. So, I do have a new scorekeeper for today, and what's the first thing on our agenda?
How will I make money?
How will I make money? Well, the way you make money doing this, and this is for some of you that are already making money doing this, maybe you'll get some tips here that you haven't thought of. In the later section, we'll be talking about advanced speaker marketing tips, my push-pull method it's kind of a combination of media marketing, electronic marketing, website, and so forth. So, how will I make money? Well, one of the ways you will make money is by giving speeches. Now, they could be a public or a private speech. A public speech would be to a corporation, possibly sponsoring you to go out and do their goodwill for them. A bank may sponsor you to go out and do a public speech as a goodwill generator for the community. You may book your own public seminar, invite people, put ads in the paper, email them, however you want to get them there, and do a public seminar. So that's one way, and you can charge admission for these. So that's one way to make money speaking. Now, the private way to make money speaking is to be hired by corporations or associations, or whoever else churches would hire, in some cases would hire you, other entities would hire you. The main two, though, are associations and corporations. Now, Bill gets hired by schools. Bill Costello is a professional cartoonist and teaches creativity and drawing to children. So schools hire Bill regularly. So there's lots of places that can hire you. And the best resource is later on in your handout is a book called Speak and Grow Rich, which is a twist of Think and Grow Rich. Dottie and Lily Walters from Glendora, California. It's the best investment if you want the big overview of all the different ways you can make money speaking. Now, if in fact you're going the private route and would like to speak to corporations or associations, there's a big difference in the terminology and the types of speeches they want. But I'll give you a few of the tips right now. For instance, if you were marketing to an association, you need to know that associations normally book speakers for events that they have planned in advance, and there's usually a keynote speaker and several breakout speakers. Breakout speaker would be a smaller session than a general session, which would be everybody that's listening to the keynote speaker. And if you called this association and said, well, I've got a great topic that your employees would like, they are going to know you don't know what you're talking about, because they don't have employees other than their in-house corporate employees. They have members at these meetings. So if you said that to a corporate planner, that person would instantly know that you don't know what you're talking about and pretty much blow you off, okay? So you have to get your terminology right. That's an association. They normally book speakers at events planned in the future. Corporations, on the other hand, hire experts on topics because they have problems that they need solved. So you could be booked by many different branches. You could call them today and they book you next week. If one manager says, no, we don't want you, you call back, get the next manager, yeah, we'll take you, because the departments don't know what's going on among themselves. So if you were marketing to a corporation, keep calling. If you really want to work there, just keep calling, and somebody will eventually hire you probably if you have a good saleable topic. So corporation books experts, association books speakers for events and usually planned pretty far in advance. Okay, differences. All right, what's next there?
Training session.
You can do training sessions. You can work for Career Track and be put on the road doing training sessions for them. There's other major seminar companies. You can promote your own training seminars. You can promote your own training company where you have an expertise on something that somebody doesn't want to do in-house, and so they hire you to come in and train their employees. Is that what you do, Bill?
One of the things I do.
One of the things Bill does is train on technology, right? So he would be called in and paid a per diem or a fee per day or half a day or however you want to set your fees, and expenses usually to go and do a training session. So that's another way to make money speaking. What's next on the list there?
Educational materials.
All right, educational materials. A good part of most professional speakers' income comes from their educational materials, which are these books and tapes that you saw earlier. Here's the audio tape album that's got 6 tapes, a cover and a workbook inside. And this is the information, the part that I'm giving you today on humor is put on tape because I can't be everywhere. People need their information reinforced, so you're actually doing them a favor by providing this kind of educational material. And they're more likely to buy it if they believe in you and see you in person, or if they see this somewhere, if they've heard of you. So you want to build your reputation also with products. Because sometimes people will hire you also the other way because they heard one of your products. And they'll say, that's a good message for our people. We should call that person to come in and speak. So the educational products will help you along those lines, but you make money doing it. Also, if you happen to get sick, if you're busy, if you've got 2 people call for the same day, sometimes you can sell products to one and go to the other one. So there's lots of different ways that you can make money with your educational materials. So tapes, audio are one. This is a videotape album here, which is better for learning, but it's harder to get people to use because they have to stop everything to do it. So some things you can't really see unless you have video or CD-ROM or something like that. So you can learn better with these, but you have to stop everything and do it. So it is a viable product to put out, but realize that it's different considerably than an audio tape product that people can do when they're jogging, when they're doing any riding in the car, anything, okay? So educational materials. Now books. This is the book that it covers, by the way, all the things that you've heard from me today, probably you only heard about 1/5 of what's in this book. Okay, because in a live seminar, part of my job is to get you interested in studying more about it. And if I didn't have an educational product to allow you to take home, then your learning would probably stop, or you'd have to really jump through hoops to go find other ways to get the information. So this is actually a service you're providing for the people that you deal with. Also, your educational materials will help you in your marketing in that they are out there selling for you. They help you get in the media, which is a great way to get hired as a speaker. When people hear you in the media, as we'll talk about in the advanced marketing, when they see me, I had like 3 or 4 lines in Entrepreneur Magazine, and I made $11,000 off of it. And it was like I didn't have to do a thing except the speech, because when they see you in the media, your credibility is established, and they call and say, are you available? As opposed to you calling them and trying to tell them who you are and just beating them to death to hire you. So being in the media is good, and your educational products will help you get in the media, because being an author is a revered position. And it doesn't have to start out here as a full book. There's other ways to get started. So those are educational products. You can use CD-ROMs are very effective now too, and you can actually burn them on your own computer now for $300. So you can make your own CD-ROMs and make them interactive, all that. I haven't progressed to that level yet, but that's the next step for me. So those are educational products, and you can even go further than that. Some people make little laminated tip sheets, sell them for $5 a hit. that you can sneak in your pocket to remind you of the management principles or whatever it happens to be. T-shirts. Oh, what else is out there? You got. He has T-shirts, worn jackets. Yeah.
I even got a tote bag.
Tote bag, yeah, I have a tote bag too. So they're not really something to learn from, but it's something that is a profit center for you, and people that, when you're out there and like you, will buy these things. So these all go together to help you make money speaking. All right, what's next? Workbooks and reports. I have a friend that gets like $90 for a little workbook because it's a continuing education. People have to have this information, and he provides it. So a little workbook like this that you can go to Kinko's for $3 is $90, an $87 profit, okay? And sells them by the hundreds. This man is very wealthy, all right? So those things are all, if you have that niche where you can find continuing education, you can tap that for a big profit center. Reports. Before you have a book, before I ever had a book, I was selling a thing called, it was those pre-planned ad libs. It was a thing that said what to do in case of disaster. And it had a cute little cover, and it was like $5, and it was like photocopied pages. Now you can't think in terms that you're selling photocopies. You're selling information to people. Doesn't matter that it's on paper or tape or whatever. You're giving them things that'll help them and make them money and or ease their pains or lose weight or whatever it happens to be. So that's what you're selling, not just the paper that it's on. So there is a high profit margin if you produce them yourself.
Electronic publications.
Well, many of you are here today because of my efforts in the electronic publication field. I put out an electronic magazine called Great Speaking. I've only had 2 issues out. The first issue got me a $2,000 barter deal on a book cover because I'm trading an ad, classified ad in my electronic magazine for this book cover design, okay? I think that was a good deal since I send it out for nothing every month, okay? But I'm the one that spent over 100 hours collecting email addresses, making sure all the idiots that own the internet aren't going to mail bomb me and do all this stuff so that I can stay out of trouble with electronic marketing. But I've got a valuable list of over 4,000 speakers now that I market to around the world. I got invitations in every major country to stay at people's homes. I mean, there's a lot you can do with this electronic marketing, but you do have to do it responsibly. And you have to learn how to do that from somebody like Bill, or I do an hour-and-a-half consultation I just did with Carolyn here, just on website alone, on how I get 10,000 people a month, and it's increasing, to visit my website. Individuals, this is not hits, okay? Hits doesn't mean anything. If you open my web page, that's 27 hits, okay? Because of the graphics count. So I'm talking visitors to my website, over 34,541 page views last month. People looking at pages on my website. They're spending 11 minutes at my website, which is an eternity in cyberspace. So I can teach people how to do that. But this is what you want to do when you develop a website. This is part of your electronic marketing, because I can't tell you, and I can tell you, and I'm going to tell you in the next section, how the website has made me lots of money, and I've come so close on some big money just because of the website. We're going to talk about that in the next section. But basically, in electronic marketing, we're talking about an email that you design to look like a little magazine, and it's just text, so it's real easy to do. You don't have to be graphically oriented, and you develop what they call an opt-in list, which means people allow you to mail this to them, because you don't want to be what they call spamming the internet, where people don't want to get your mail, and some of them get real mad. I can't tell you the idiots I've run into. Luckily, it hasn't been great in the speaker field, but there are some out there. These are the kind of people with a shotgun in front of their postal box. Don't send me anything, I'm going to get you, So I guess they might have a legitimate excuse, but I can't understand it, because all they have to do is hit no or tell me to remove, and they're gone. I won't bother them anymore, but they don't have to mail bomb me. So anyway, electronic marketing can be really great and cost effective. It can make things work for you that wouldn't work if you had to print and mail and pay the postage. So, and that made, you know, if I would have had to promote this with normal means, the SysTick wouldn't have made anything, put it that way. This would have been, although we'd have all got good information transfer, it would have been for naught, money-wise, to the kids that need this. So that's why it's valuable to me. Electronic marketing.
How to pick a sellable topic.
Well, how to pick a saleable topic. See, a lot of people have expertise on things, but it's not really saleable. Like if you were an expert on, oh, let's say Roman sandals, okay? And there are people out there that are like that. My old girlfriend could tell you, go into a museum and say that painting is misdated because they did not have sandals and the hairdo wasn't the same in that 20-year period. You know, probably why we're not together, but one of the reasons anyway. But there are people that could do it. All right, and that might be saleable as a consultant to an art, people that buy art, or there ought to be ways to make money from that, but not speaking to the corporate and association world, probably not in great numbers anyway. So you have to find something that's saleable in the corporate market, and it should be a passion of yours so that you're good at it and you're happy about spending all the time it takes to do these speeches and to develop the information, and you should have an expertise at it. Now, I think we're going to talk about expertise here in a second, aren't we?
Yeah.
Pretty close?
Yeah.
It's already been mentioned.
All right, well, let's talk about how you become an expert. First of all, I started out, I mean, I've been in business all my life. You heard that story in an earlier segment, but I wasn't doing speeches. I was doing custom designed practical jokes, writing custom humor and delivering it to people thousands of times, sometimes 4 or 5 times a night. And that's how I got my comic timing, and that's how I became an expert in delivering. That's not how I became an expert in teaching, okay? It's different. So what I did is for the past 6 years, I have been reading every possible thing I can read about speaking. I encourage people to come up and tell me techniques I don't know about. I have listened to every tape in our NSA library. I was the tape librarian because I knew I could learn from these people, all these great speakers around the world. So I became an expert. I just didn't fall into being an expert, and you can do the same. I think some of the people bandy around in less than a year, you can be an expert on just about any topic you want if you're willing to put the time in, which means reading every possible periodical, studying, taking classes, practicing your craft, all those things. So if you want to be an expert and you have a passion about a topic, go for it. Hey, as long as it's saleable. And you have to check that out a little bit. You got to see what are if you get a brochure in the mail about a big seminar coming up, what's it about? You know, it's not about Roman sandals, I can tell you that, all right? So you see what's saleable in the marketplace, match it to your interest and expertise level, and then take it to the marketplace. And sometimes, I was telling Linda, you change the title and it's saleable. I was doing a thing called Business Light, Humor, Effectiveness, and the Bottom Line. For a long time, easily saleable. Then all this downsizing came about, and I couldn't sell it anymore because the humor in the title. They thought, oh, this must be fluff. So I changed the title, Business Light, Business Light, Low Cost, No Cost Ways to Improve Your Productivity. Same program. And it could sell it again, all right? And I did add some other things in, but still it was basically all these things to keep the morale up and all that. So the titles are important in being a speaker. But you can become an expert if you want to be. But do it in some field that you're passionate about so that it's not work. Okay, what's that?
What's hot?
What's that?
What's hot?
Yeah, that's part of your selection of what topic you might want to pick is what's hot, and you find that from brochures, asking people, checking with speakers bureaus, looking at your own professional associations and see what topics they're bringing in, reading a lot of magazines, and all that will tell you what kind of things are saleable. Okay.
How to package yourself.
How to package yourself. You have to package yourself properly to make money doing this, which means you have to have demonstration materials, because the people that hire you most of the time never heard of you, or they've never seen you in person. So you have to package yourself. And I'm going to show you some demonstrations of that. One way to package yourself is, this is called a pocket folder, or we call it a press kit. This is a little thing that you put all your stuff in so that it looks professional and nice. And this is an example of these are just examples from the company that makes these. And that's a nice one, and it has a little nice touch, because in a file folder, it sticks above and would have your name and your topic on it. So that's one. This is, I don't think this is a speaker, but this is another example of a real colorful, and Chilly Willy, the speaker. But there's all kinds of colors and textures and prices and all that. So you can get one of those to put your stuff in. However, I got to tell you, I spent $1,200 on one of those 6 years ago. I'm still using them up because I made a mistake and put the wrong thing on it, because I didn't get help beforehand to somebody that knew what they were doing. So I just used, I think, I got a couple of them left 7 years later. Okay, so I don't want you to make those kinds of mistakes. Actually, right, I just went down to Office Depot, got a plain laminated one, and I do use a lot of stickers, and I put them all over. And I don't know if I got an example of that somewhere here. Well, here's another one with the photo printed on. Nice halftone printed on. That's a real nice one. Well, here's some of the stickers that I use. I'll show you. This is a box. I send my stuff in a box because I want it to look nice when it gets there. And this is kind of a trademark for me. This is the label that I use that has my photo on it, okay? And the way this saves you a lot of money is that this label is cut specifically so it fits on a number 10 envelope, so I don't have to buy custom envelopes. It also serves as shipping for my books and all the bigger packages, so it's a real handy investment that you can do for a lot of things. And then this is a trademark of me. I put a little balloon and say hi to whoever I'm sending it to. And in the marketing section, we'll talk about how these things get your package open and create an aura about you so that people remember you, all right? But you got to have some proper packaging. Let's see, what else? I also have demonstration tapes, video. I have a really cool kind, and mine are color-coded. And this is red tape, and I even use it as a little funny thing. I'll say, well, if you want to cut through the red tape, look at my red tape, okay? And this won't hit home to you until you see a committee room that's got a whole load of this junk all over it that belongs to different people, okay? And if you have something different that stands out, you got a better chance that they'll actually look at it, okay? So I have actually five now, video demo tapes. You try to get one, and this is down the road, don't worry about this now, but you try to get one on each topic, because the people that hire you can't make the jump in their mind that you were a great speaker for sales. Well, I wonder if he can speak on customer service. Yeah.
You have a case you put that in, or you send it like that?
I send it like this. Oh, I do have some slip covers that are red that go on it, but this by itself creates a big impact. Although they break, you know, these are recycled plastic, and you want to make sure they get there safely. But they're short term, so you wouldn't use these forever. They'll wear out on you quick. But the thing is, then they don't use them anyway forever. They watch them maybe, if you're lucky, they watch them once. So.
How many minutes are on a tape?
Well, that varies.
You don't do your whole presentation.
No, well, I do. There's some people, see, you can never please everybody. So what I do is, this one is 17 minutes of excerpts. This one, some people, that's not good enough because they know that you could put your best stuff on and fake them out. So this is a 36-minute full program, okay? And then some of these are only 11 minutes. This is customer service. This is my imposter routine that I do. And so they're all different colors. And so there's no right or wrong for sure about this. But yes, Al.
Tom, I noticed that you have a label just on the spine.
Yes.
You don't have a label on the
Right.
Why is that?
Well, because I do a lot of work with speakers. Well, this one I happen to, but normally I don't, because I do a lot of work with speakers bureaus. So I do have a label here, but it doesn't have my address on it. When you work with speakers bureaus, which put that out of your mind for a long time, okay, is they put their label on it. And they don't want your telephone number. In fact, if they see it, they'll kick you out, okay? So I just have the topic and my name on it. And then when you do a demo tape, you make sure you say at the end, please call the number listed on this tape. Don't put your phone number on the actual tape because they'll never speak to you. Yes, Bill.
Two things. Where do you get the color cassettes?
Well, you won't be able to do it because there's a 2,500 piece minimum per color, okay? So I got in a long time ago and made a deal that they regret, and so I'm holding them to it. But they said, no, we don't want any more of this business. The master, just to get ready for this kind of shell, was $350. That's after I produced the tape, and they have to make it so it will copy on this. So it's, but there's others right here that I brought that aren't quite as impactful, but they print right on it's more elegant actually than the ones I have. They'll print your name on the spine there in gold foil or something, and it really looks elegant and very chic, you know. So although it's still black and could get lost in a sea of other tapes. And I'll tell you where I learned the impact of this is I have a friend that has a speakers bureau in California, and I stayed at her house. Her walk-in closet was this high, and from here to the lectern, and this deep in videotapes from speakers, different ones, all right? I don't know, probably well over 1,000 tapes in there. And I had carte blanche on looking at these, you know, whatever ones I wanted. Guess ones that I picked? The ones that looked and were packaged nice, all right? Okay, yeah.
What was the cost of putting it together?
Of
Demo.
some of them were free. And I'm going to tell you how to do that in the next section. But video production can run the gambit. I mean, you can get a great person for a low fee, and you can get a lousy person for a big fee. So it's I only work with people like Rick that I know. Or this is actually the first time I worked with Rick, but he came very highly recommended by my guy that knows that he's going to hear about it if there's a problem. So. And there's big differences too, because there's some people that would stand back there and they're used to shooting government stuff, and where somebody sits there all day and it's boring as heck, but that won't cut it for you. You want to, if I ask a question, he's going to pull back. He's going to get the crowd response. He's going to do all these other things. So the prices can vary, but get referrals, first of all. And then here's one of the cool tricks is to put your demo tape on audio. And this is an exact copy of my video tape. I just took the audio track off of it because people will listen to this as they drive or whatever. I can't tell you how many people have told me, well, Tom, I carried your videotape home 4 nights and I never watched it. You know, so, but they will listen to these. Okay, so that's part of packaging yourself. Also, you packaging yourself with, these are called one sheets. This is one sheet, one side of a program. One program. That's why it's called a one sheet. Some people will misname it and call a one sheet a brochure and have a bunch of programs, but that's not really correct. A one sheet is one program. People get confused if you give them too much to think about. So you want to push only a couple programs on somebody, and they're outlined here. And in the next segment, we will give you a formula for creating these. All right, packaging. Postcards I got. All this stuff is done as cheap as possible by doing it when you do your book cover. So you have postcards and bookmarks at the same time as your book cover, and that's the cheapest way you can get it. So all these things add up to your credibility as being professional. Yes, Linda?
You have been properly formatted program descriptions. What do you mean by that?
Well, formatted means they're giving the people the information that they want. So people don't want to know how great you are. Okay, so my bio on this consists of like 3 sentences. See how little that is? Because people are buying topics, not, unless you're a celebrity, they're not buying Tom Antion. They're buying this topic, and then they figure, well, Tom could do a good job of delivering it. So you don't want to put a big bio and then not tell them what they get out of it. So this one has like all the bullet points of what they'll learn for coming and big topic at the top and all that. So that's what I'm talking about, format. And that's packaging yourself.
Have you chosen that over a brochure?
Oh yeah, yes, I absolutely have. And in the next segment, I'm going to tell you the coolest trick to save you thousands of dollars because I went to this route. Yes?
The one she's on your web?
Yeah, pretty much it's the same information that if you go to one of my web pages, you will see the same, virtually the same information. And what that has done, it saved me from mailing these people all this stuff. You have to have all this stuff. But since I've really done a job on my website, it saves me from mailing out a $25 package because people see it, it's credible, you see all the experience, and they can have the information instantly. Yes?
Do you find that the meeting planners are consistently, occasionally web literate?
They're getting more, it's more and more every day. It's a rapid transition is all I can say. But I can tell you since I got my massive website, I'll bet you I haven't spent 1/4 on the amount of press kits that needed to be sent out. Okay? And I'm going to talk about that the next segment. Okay, what's next?
Your biography and rave testimonials.
Right? You want to start collecting testimonials about yourself. Margaret offered me one, and it's great, Margaret, and I love you for it. I want it on that camera, or I want it written somewhere, okay? You collect them when you have the chance, and usually when people are fired up at one of these things is when you can get the best ones. Now, here I'm gonna give you another trade secret. The book of mine, every testimonial in the front, I wrote. Now, I didn't assign the people's name to it. I took advantage of contacts that I have made over the years, gave them a sample so that make it easy for them to, and some of them didn't even adjust it, some of them made minor corrections, and then they returned it to me, signed that I could use it. So you have to aggressively go after these. If you're gonna wait for all these rave testimonials, you're going to wait a long time because even people that promise them to you won't send them. I put it in my contract sometimes and I can't get them. So, yeah, really, part of the deal, especially if they're hammering me on the price or something and want to negotiate. If it's a big corporation, I want that letterhead with their name on it and all this stuff. And I won't ask it if I don't do a great job, but I know I'm going to do a great job. So I want that letter so that I can put it in my press kits to show the next person. The reason this is important, because people are afraid. That's the whole reason. See, at my level, and the level that many of you are and are going to, people can get fired if you bomb. It can mean a lot of money if you bomb. If a big association hires you and it costs $500 to $1,000 for each person to attend, and you bomb and so 40 people don't come, how much is that? Okay? That meeting planner could get fired. The meeting planner right at NSA on a panel told us that sometimes their salary is tied to the evaluations of the speakers. You wonder why they're so hard on you to prove that you're going to be great, because it's money in their pocket, okay? So, and that's fine with me. I don't have any problem with that because that knocks out a lot of the wannabes and lets me rise to the top. So that's no problem with me for that, but that's what you face. So you have to reduce their risk. And by doing the testimonials and having good packaging and looking like a professional, it reduces their risk. That's how you get hired. What's next?
Your schedule of speaking fees.
You should have a schedule or a piece of paper that lists your fees on it. It looks more credible and professional. And I have a sample one. I'll fax anybody. My fee schedule is open to anybody. And it shows you. You list. And there's lots of ways you can list. I go half day and full day, and consulting rate is a little different. And if I write a roast, that's different. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you always send that out when you get a phone call?
No. As a matter of fact, and I learned this from Wolf Franke, one of our past presidents of the National Speakers Association in this area. Also, Nancy Reed is a past president. I'm a past president. We got a lot of all past presidents, you know. All past presidents know Indians. He taught me, you try everything you can to not deal with a person. That sounds kind of backwards for customer service, doesn't it? You do everything possible to disqualify them. When you can't do that, then you send them a press kit, okay? Because you get so many tire kickers, they have no money, they have no date. I can tell you to this day, even though I still do it like an idiot, I have never once gotten the job when they've asked me to FedEx anything. Not once. Never. Nada, nil. Because, and that just, and I should know better, but it's hard to say no to a person that's asking for your materials and when they have the money. But if they are asking you to FedEx, they are so disorganized, nobody's made a decision on what topic they want, who's going to make the decision. They dump it on somebody, get the information to us. So they scramble and they don't care. Just send me a bunch of stuff so I can give it to the boss.
So what do you tell them if they say, send me something?
I send it. I send it, yeah. Although well, yeah. Yeah, that's the first thing I do now, and that's where I've saved all this money, is I refer them to the website. Because I say, that's the fastest you can get it, right there, it's right now. So in big corporations, that works a lot of times. So that saved me a lot of money, but still some people will ask you to FedEx, so. Okay, what's next?
Articles written by you.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead, Lisa.
Back to the schedule of fees.
Oh, okay.
I think the question was, do you actually give the schedule of fees to people? And I didn't hear the answer to
Oh,
yes or no.
I don't unless they really ask for it, but usually it's discussed on the phone in my attempt to disqualify them. I talk to them a little bit, but I don't have time to yap with people that only have $250 or something, okay? So pretty quick, I ask them, what's your budget for this? Well, I don't know. Well, and then I'll tell them, boom, I'm $5,500 for half a day. Is that within your budget range? And then if you hear them hit the floor, you assume that it wasn't quite what they had in mind, which is great. Buy, everybody's happy. But if they have a budget, they'll tell you, and that's where I'm going to show you some cool tricks on how to, what we call keep fee credibility, but negotiate and keep everybody happy. And we'll talk about that in a little bit the next section. But I don't send the fee schedule normally.
Keep that on your site? I know some speakers have that.
No, I don't personally, because I just don't think it's necessary, and some speakers would come just to grab it and see what somebody else is doing. So I don't need that. Yeah, I'm closed mouth about it. I have a fee schedule. If somebody asks, I'll tell them. Great.
You have different fee schedules for different groups as opposed to corporations, as opposed to nonprofits or education.
I don't, and I'll tell you why. A lot of nonprofits have more money than everybody else put together, and they'll use that against you to try to get you down on your fee. And I quit. I will on certain groups, if I really want to do it, I'll just throw everything out the window and say, how much you got, I'll do it for you.
Except Bill, you said work with schools. You're not going to get $5,600.
Well, that's right. That's right. So you have to go to what your market is. So if your market is schools, you can't expect that for them. You won't be working too much. All right. But I don't send the fee schedule out, and I will make deals if it's a good group I really want to work with. But for the most part, I don't, because once you get to this level, you'll start getting in trouble with people. Because if somebody books me at one fee and the other person books me at another fee, one of them is not going to say, we got a good deal. Guess what the others are going to say? We got cheated. All right. So you got to try to keep a pretty straight fee schedule. And what I'm going to show you next time will help you work with that. All right.
Articles written by you.
Okay. This is the sex articles about articles written by you are good to put in your press kit because they increase your credibility, and articles written about you increase your credibility. Both of them are good as part of media marketing. Yes, Al. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Yes, Lisa.
I understand how to get articles by me out to me.
Mhm.
Do that, but I'm not as successful as getting articles written about me. Can you give us a tip on that?
Yeah, she could definitely give you lots of tips. That's her expertise. Do you have any quick tips that you want to just throw on the tape?
And for you to get into the paper, you might want to consider tagging your topic onto a timely subject, maybe a holiday or a time of year, or even tag onto a trend happening in the news, make it a timely reaction to what's going on in the news, say what's happening with the impeachment right now or something. So try to tag it to something that's well known.
Yeah, let's give you an example of that. Let's say it was Christmas time and you talked about stress. You might say, you know, I have a topic that'll help your listeners or your readers really deal with some of the stress that happen around Christmas. So right there, you've got an in because it's timely. That's what she's talking about. Yes, Margaret.
Yeah, as a tag on to that, some small independent newspapers are looking for something newsworthy. And they're happy to give you the space. And of course, that's what you want.
And internet is a place, if you want to get published quick, you look around a little bit. This job I got off the website that I was going to tell you about later, I'll tell you about it now, $5,500. And they were considering buying a book for every attendee. 3,200 attendees would have been a $40,000 job. You know how they found me? An article I wrote for Sales Doctor's website, not even my own website, that they saw and then linked to my website to find me and hired me on the spot. Okay? And guess what? I didn't even write the article for Sales Doctors. I gave them my book and told them excerpt whatever you want, and they wrote a whole year's worth of articles, their own editors. I didn't even write it, all right? I don't even know what it says. I don't care. And now I got a ghostwriter. I got a girl over at a woman at the University of Maryland that I gave her money. She writes my articles for me. And I put my own flair to them, but she roughs them out, and she can do it quick because she's really good at it. So it's not hard to get published. And if you go internet, you'll be out there more than you can keep up with if you really look into it. All right, what's next?
Website.
Website. We're still in the Speak for Money section. All right, we're not even in the advanced part yet.
Keep going, we got all kinds of stuff.
All right.
Everyone has
Talk
their
fast.
website.
Yeah, I got to talk faster. Yeah, oh, geez. Website. You heard what I just said about a thing I got off my website, all right? Biggest single investment in time and money, best single investment in time and money I made in my career. Number one, website. I spent a month and a half last year learning how to use Front Page 98 so that I could do my own website and make changes quickly. And now I get the 10,000 visitors a month, 30,000 plus page views, money coming in from around the world for product sales, all kinds of good things from websites. So it is worth it, but if you're going to do it right. I had one for 2 years. It got 400 visitors. I got more today while I'm standing here with you than I got in 2 years. Yes?
I noticed you, on your website, use a lot of tips from one particular marketing agency.
I use tips from, what is that now?
There's an agency or a company, right?
Oh, yeah, this is called an affiliate program. This is a way to make money with your website. I wouldn't suggest to anybody that I didn't believe in, but when you click and buy something through there, I get a commission on it.
Right now.
So, yeah, so that's,
That particular, the web techniques that you picked up.
that's why I plugged them, because I learned a lot of this from that site and buying their marketing kit. It was like $197, but my God, I made $2,000 the first email I sent out. And
Sorry, what was
Did you buy that, the email package you talked about?
yeah, I bought MailLoop too, also. Yeah, and by the way, here's Bill Brooks. That's his his first version of his. Let's hear it for Bill, for his, yeah. This is his first. This is what an e-zine looks like, but it comes to your email box, see? His is on technology, mine's on Speaky.
So we can get on his list by just giving him this article.
That's all it takes. He'd love to have you on there. He doesn't care if you read it, because the more people he has, the more deals he can make for advertising, and all kinds of good deals you can make, see? So,
And by the way, the reason that I put that out was that you motivated me when I went to your site, went from there to the e-zine site, and I said, I've just got to start doing this. So-
there you go, see? So,
It's just great. for
well,
speakers.
that's perfect, yeah. So you can do this, and it costs very little money. I mean, there's a little bit of investment to figure out things and all that. So, but anyway, that site is where I learned a lot of this. Yeah.
What did you say you bought for $197?
I bought an internet marketing website kit from marketingtips.com. Now, if you buy it, I want you to buy it through my site, because I'll get a commission off of it, see? And but what you learn from that is that's an affiliate program. So I'm getting the software now that any one of you could sell my big products and big packages of them and make $7,500 for commission if somebody clicks through your site and buys it, see? So that's what that's all about. So website is great. It knocks down the press kits that you need to get. to mail out. It gets you business that people would have never heard of you any other way. And you can make money off of it with advertising and affiliate programs. So it's great. You can sell your products all on it too. So it's great. Yes?
I had a phone call off of my website to get a quote from me for the SHRM National Magazine, just because he saw my website.
Just because somebody stumbled on a website. So,
That was
yes.
So just with this particular program, that's how you designed your website? I mean, I've searched.
No.
This is the best I have seen.
Well, thank you. No, I designed my website with Front Page, and I'm not an artist, but they have what they call themes. So it just gives you all the buttons and everything matches. I didn't have to think, you know.
It's amazing. You can stay on there for hours.
Right, yeah, mine is 70 some pages, and probably more than that. I've lost track of them, but it's I can go home and in 6 minutes have something up on my website, see? Where if you have someone else doing it, it could take months to get, yes.
To have a server that you rent from and all that.
Yeah, it's for me, I've gone now to $75 a month because I've got a massive site that you can listen to my audio on it and all this, and I've got e-commerce, which I'm now going to a fancy shopping cart where you can put your credit card in. It's authorized, the money's in my bank account, and my fulfillment company will ship you the product, and I'm on the beach somewhere, all right? Now, no, I ought to take that back. I avoid the beach because the harpoon wounds were getting a little bad. But anyway, so it's all doable, and I do a whole hour-and-a-half consultation that I just did with Carolyn on the things you need to do if you want it to happen. So what's the next section?
How to create educational materials.
All right, start with reports, start writing articles, and you start putting them together into bigger reports. You can do an anthology, means several of you get together and write a chapter and make a book out of it. You can have a tape tomorrow if you wanted. An audio tape you could have tomorrow if you wanted to make an educational product and have it ready to go. You could record it on a boom box if you wanted to, because the spoken voice doesn't need any high-end CD quality. So you could actually create it on your boom box and make a label on your laser printer, package it, and bam, be selling it the next day. So it's not hard to develop. Yes?
One of my marketing mentors gave me a technique that was so valuable because I was having a problem getting a good audio tape. She said, let me sit there and interview you for 30 minutes.
That's enough, yeah.
When she asked me questions, I was just so vocal, but when I was just trying to talk to the microphone, I wasn't.
Okay, well that is a great method. You write out questions and answers, and you have somebody interview you, and you instantly get a product. It's a very common technique. All right, so there's lots of ways to develop products. Books, tapes, CDs, all that stuff, videos. And you can get videos for free by barter. You're not free. You're bartering your services to like a college or something that has a professional facility to shoot the tape. And that's how 2 of my tapes got produced. They didn't have the money to hire me, but they had a full-blown production facility, Betacam, which is the high-end stuff, editing the whole bit, and they traded it to me. So that's a way to get one without hiring a production company. Then if you have a great event, though, like this thing I'm doing in Mexico, I'm hiring people because I want somebody there to get this footage of me with an interpreter, which is the only kind of footage I don't have yet. So I'm going to have somebody down there shooting that professionally because I don't want to take any chances with students. All right? All right, what's next?
Well, we covered several, but articles turn into workbooks.
Yeah, this is just the method of creating products. Start writing articles. You can do them quickly. They start adding up into chapters, and the chapters end up in the books. So it's just start writing. Yes?
A question, when you make a tape like today, do you need, can you take facial pictures of people with that?
Well, we announced quite clearly that this is what's going on. So if you were objected and you didn't want to be on it, and you didn't say something by now, too bad, yeah. But you have to be real clear about it to people, what's going on. I mean, Brandy and everybody else said, listen, you're going to be on video, and nobody said a word, so I feel pretty confident that I'm not going to have any problems with it. But I mean, anybody could sue you for anything if they want to, yeah.
If you were doing this for when you were being paid by a corporation, would you get them to sign releases?
Well, first of all, I couldn't have done it all on my own. I'd have had to have it cleared in the first place, and it would have been the same thing. Although we would have, arrange the seating to say if somebody definitely doesn't want to be on video, we will seat you in an area that's kind of a dead area so they wouldn't be on. So I would have cleared it through the executives. What's next?
Articles, workbooks, and books turn into audio and video tapes and CDs.
Just exactly what we're talking about, how all this material can be recycled into different formats. Basically, the audio tape is, with minor changes, is some information from the book. The videotape is some information that's, from the book and the audio tape. So it all, once you get rolling on this, you can put the information out in different formats. And this is all ways you make money speaking. Yes?
On the video again, if you're giving somewhat of a new presentation and you want it taped, you're giving it to a corporation, you might ask the meeting planner if it could be taped. Would you feel that that was something that you would then owe them a consideration in price for the permission, or just?
No, no. Matter of fact, a lot of times they'll ask me, and I'll charge them a royalty for doing it because, see, if they're taping and they always want a copy of the tape then they might show it and not hire me. So it's a reduction in my fees, actually. So no, I don't give them a break at all for that. They've got the money to pay me, and I'm suggesting another way. And sometimes they'll pay you time and a half, and then you give them a license to use it other places. So no, I don't reduce the fee for taping. Use it as a bargaining tool if they don't have the money. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
How to market yourself?
How to market yourself? Well, the first one is, I think, is what? Cold calls. I hate them. I can't stand them. I quit years ago doing cold calls because it's just not my mentality. Some people thrive and get a kick out of being able to convert somebody to a sale. Too much work for me. I want them coming to me. So, but you can get on the phone, start calling people, and every so many calls you'll get hired. And you have to figure out the ratio and get your sales pitch down, but it's a way to do it, but it's not for me. What's the other? Next message.
Previous employers.
This is a cool way. Some people are in a corporation and they get their own corporation to hire them as a contractor. They quit their job with all the benefits and perks, and the corporation hires them back as a consultant or contractor. This is a benefit to the corporation in that they get out of all the perks and payroll taxes and health benefits. You get usually a higher fee or amount of money than you were getting for working, but you take care of your own taxes, but you may get tax benefits from that. So that's a good way to get started if you can pull it off. That's a fast track because a lot of times you'll have instant business that way. All right, next one.
Tell everyone you know.
Just tell everybody. We got a guy, Willie Jolly. He's a guy that's a nightclub singer, now speaker. He would just stand out and hand his business cards out at the Metro, you know, and he's at top of the heap now. So tell everybody so that they can refer to you. I told Brandy that I said, listen, I'm going to give you a commission like I would give anybody else if they hired me. She came back from break by her parents in where the heck is she anyway? Oh, she's not feeling well. But anyway, her parents are in big corporations. Her uncle's a big shot. And so she's bringing me back leads. You just tell people what you're doing. And I offer a commission. So anybody can get a 10% commission. So you can make $550 just for a name. If you come to me with a done deal, you can make over $1,000. If all I have to do is sign my name and do the job, boom, done. So offer them a commission, and they start really thinking about, well, who could I get who do I know that might hire you? All right, so that's the way to do it.
No fee talks.
No fee talks. Notice I did not say free talks. I said no fee talks because I don't want you doing anything unless you get something in return. Now, if you're a beginner, you may just need to be out there speaking, and that's fine. But you can usually get a testimonial letter back from them. You might be able to get your spouse in to an event free. You might be able to get a spare airfare or a week at a resort or, all kinds of things you can barter with. Sue, you could barter with to clean your office up, So barter is good, but don't do things for free because I'll tell you what, even today, if I do something for free, they treat me like a schmuck. They treat me poorly. The more money they pay me, the more flowers that are in my room, bottles of wine, I'm allergic, I give them away, chocolate, limo, I don't understand the concept, but if you give it for free, they don't respect you. So get something in return. Videos, all kinds of things. Yes?
Is it fair to charge the difference between like a corporation and a educational institution that may not have as much money as a corporation?
Anything is fair as long as you're consistent with it. So if you say, well, I don't like that corporation, so I'm going to jack the price up, you're going to get in trouble. But if you're, if you can, a lot of people have a fee schedule that has educational facilities or nonprofit or whatever you want. I have a discount for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right. My dad's 92. I just got word he's got to be in some type of assisted living after 46 years in the same house. Big shakeup in our family right now. But I always give a discount for there because that gives me a chance to visit. So I give a discount for Pittsburgh. So you can do whatever you want. Yes?
You started. Is it appropriate to pay commissions from the get-go, and what kind of percentage?
I pay 10%. The question was, is it appropriate when you're beginning to pay a commission? I think anything you do to market yourself is fine, but the problem is that if people are referring you, you better be darn good. And if you're not quite to the professional level yet, you might not want to even be referred too much because you're going to alienate this person, because if you do poorly, then it's going to reflect on them. So you need to make sure your really program is good before you try to get a referral program going. Yeah. All right, what's next?
Website.
Website again? We back to it? We must be into a different section? No, okay, I think I put that twice because it's a way to market yourself. People look at my website and all of a sudden there's a credibility associated with it. So sometimes I get hired and no press kit, no nothing. They see the program description, they see my resume, they may have checked on, I hope they at least checked some of the resume items, and they hire you without any demo or any of that stuff. So it's a way to market yourself. And yes?
What's your opinion on having your own website or getting one created by like speakers.com and Expert Magazine?
Well, the thing is, you always should have your own domain so that no matter where, who goes out of business or this or that, you have control, because if you market your website, you've got an address that people are looking for all over the world. And if that company goes out of business, then you are really in trouble, because then nobody can find your site. All those 10,000 people that come to my site a month, where's Tom? Tom disappeared. So I had to start from scratch and do it all over again. Now, having a link from these sites is a different story. Okay, so I try to link at all these places if I can. I don't spend a lot of money because I trade links. I say, you let me space on your site, I'll give you on mine. And the latest study said that more people find you from links than from search engines. And you don't have to jump through as many hoops. And your link, if you get a link, if you and I link, it's there forever. If I get a top listing in a search engine, tomorrow I could be disappeared, because they changed their rating system. So links are good. Yeah.
Search engines are actually changing the rules so that they're counting how many links you have in order to put you in the ranking. So if you don't have a lot of links, you're not going to.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I suggest links, is because, yes, you are rated higher, the more links are coming in and out of your site. So, okay, so website's good, yes.
I speak on technology.
Right.
I speak on productivity. They're not quite linked. Do you find that you are linking to other speakers? How does that work?
I'm linking to anybody that's credible that's not porn. Okay. Well, I do. Actually, some sneak in on. I have a Link-O-Matic where anybody can link to, and the porn sites start to sneak in, and I have to go in and do a special thing to block them. But the thing is no, I don't care. I want links coming into my site, which makes my site look more valuable. And then I've gotten hired from other people's sites, and that's undoubtedly they have gotten hired from my site, because guess what? Everybody comes to my site, maybe I'm not right for. I'd rather send it to Bill, somebody I know, than to have it just go searching in cyberspace again. So I'd like to link as many different people as I can. All right. Media marketing. This is one of my specialties. I like to get in the media, because when they call me, they say, are you available? They don't say, who are you? They don't say, we don't want to talk to you. When they're calling, they want to hire you, or they want to know more. So get in the media. Cynthia will help you do it. Joe L. that was here earlier will teach you how to be good when you get on there. A guy in California, Joel Roberts is the best I've ever seen. I'm darn good. I'm really good on the media. I've been on all over the world. In 2 minutes, he had my whole structure, my opening changed that tripled my audience. All right? So that's $500 for a weekend with this guy you'll never regret. Joel Roberts is his name. You can call me for the telephone number.
Where is he in California?
He's in California. Sometimes he does them around the country, but in the Los Angeles area. Hotel Nico, he's been doing them in. So very valuable. Media is the way to go. I have a three-pronged attack going right now. I'm trying to do more television this year, radio. I've done a lot of, but I'm going to do more, and then I'm going to have somebody head up my print attack. And I've got somebody in Wisconsin heading that up for me. So that's called my push-pull. I'm pulling them, I'm pushing at them with my electronic marketing, and then I'm pulling them in, sucking them into my web. And once I get a hold of them, they're history, because I'm going to keep in touch with them with my mail loop program and other ways. So I unobtrusively keep in touch and keep on the top of their mind. Yes?
What is a mail loop?
That is a special program that could be considered a little controversial, that a bulk emailer would use to send out massive amounts of email to people that don't want them or spam the internet. But it's very valuable to me in that in a few seconds, I can take my people that don't want to be mailed to, take it off of the list that do want to be mailed to so that these people don't get mad at me. It'll take out the duplicates. It'll find out email addresses that are no good. And in seconds, it'll, boom, send them out to my whole mail list. So it does all, and it'll also send to my customer list. I'm just learning how to do this. It'll take, if you bought something off of me, your name and date and everything will be in my database. Well, I'll send you an email that's going to say, hey, Melissa, right. Hey, Melissa, thanks for buying Wake 'em Up at the seminar, and it'll know where you bought it, and it'll put it all in an email. That's called a mail merge. Very personalized. And you're going to read it because it's personal to you. So that's one thing that this program will do. It'll also, you can do this with like Eudora, which is a cheap $40 program. But the problem is it's going to say, to Tom, from Tom, and then you're going to be a blind carbon copy. Well, some people set their email to eliminate any mail like that, so they never even will see it. So my program will go and say, to Melissa from Tom. And then in the inside, it'll say, hi, Melissa, thanks for buying Wake 'em Up on February 6th. See? So that's the difference. It's about a $400 program, but I made a $2,000 deal the first day with it, the barter deal. It's called Mail Loop. You can order it off of my site. I get a commission. See? Yeah, I don't mind, yeah. Infomercials, most of them lose money unless you got money to burn. Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I know a guy that specialized, Dan Kennedy, and 1 out of 30 might make money, and you got to be real financed, big time, you know. $200,000 just to produce, and then that's not even buying the media yet. All right, a lot of money, yeah.
You heard of Mail King?
Mail what?
King.
No, is that another bulk mail program?
It's $99, I don't know.
I don't know. This is the guy I deal with I really trust because most of the things he's told me have been right on. It's been the easiest to use, best quality programs, and so I
was skeptical of him at first too, but now after a while I actually support that guy as well.
Yeah, I forget his name. Corey Rudel is his name, but his ideas in that marketing thing are really tremendous. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you budget yourself for publicity consulting when you're talking about?
Nothing. I do a lot of barter. Yeah, I'm trading for a lady in Wisconsin. She's doing a speaker junket with me, and then she's heading up my print campaign. She's doing a wonderful job at it. And I make all kinds of deals. I made the deal with the electronic e-zine for a $2,000 book cover. So I try to make deals. I'm a little skeptical. You can spend $6,000 a month retainer on a publicist, right? And I'm saying some of them are worth it, but some of them are, you know, that's $6,000 a month, and you're not Kenny Rogers. You're not. That's the cheapest. Okay, so you're probably not going to get a lot for your money. I know Wolf Rinke spent, I don't know how much, and I don't know. I don't think he got much from it. Okay, what's next? We got to move it here.
Okay, under media it says advertise and then free.
Yeah, the free, yeah, you could pay for an ad, but I don't know any speakers that have done well with paying for advertising. It's just not a media that you get hired from paying.
How much money can I make?
How much money can you make? Well, what are you willing to do? That's my question to you. You can make, let's say you can break in at $2,000 a speech and do 20 of them next year. All right? It doesn't sound like you're going to be a rich person after that, right? You could double that if you add products. A lot of the top speakers make about 50% of their income from products, 50% from speaking. If you push your fees up, people like me, I started at $75 a speech. That was about 6 years ago, and now I'm going to $5,500 in March. So that's quite a big increase. Now the number that you do decreases. You're going to lose business the higher your fee goes, but you don't have to run around and kill yourself so much. There's people that are working for Career Track pulling over $100,000 a year, but they're doing quite a bit of days and humping products and all kinds of things. So it's a lot of work. You can make, if you can market yourself good enough, there's people that make a lot more than me. They're not as good as speakers, but they're better marketers than me. I'm getting better all the time. And you can make $150,000, $200,000. There's speakers in our association make more than $1 million in consulting and speaking fees. Some people push to $20,000. A realistic thing, I was just talking to a bureau the other day. They said, we like you, Tom. You're in the right fee range. We need people in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. So if you can get yourself credible enough in that range and market yourself properly, you can stay booked. Not as much as you want, but I try to do 30 to 50 a year. Not all at the full fee, because I'm going to show you some ways that sometimes I have to deal. But you can, if you can get into that fee range, it's a good solid fee range to be in. If you're too cheap, people won't hire you. I've lost jobs when I was coming up. $1,250, I'm better than the $4,500 guy that they got, and they've hired them anyway because of the risk. They figure if it's more expensive, it must be worth more. Okay. So you can make a lot of money at this, but it's not overnight, believe me. What's next?
Now what?
Now what? And what's it say on there?
Join local chapter of the National Speakers Association.
Yeah, if you want to be a pro, you got to hang around pros, and that's the game in town. So join a local chapter of your National Speakers Association and hang around with people. Go to the meetings. Get involved. This is where I learned to go from 75 to 5,500.
And they're meeting next Saturday?
And that's right. Thank you. You're supposed to remind me. And they are meeting next Saturday at the Holiday Inn. What's it? Capitol?
550C South.
See Nancy. She'll give you the hotline number of NCSA. It'll give you all the details. It's dirt cheap investment. The only thing you're investing is a little bit of time. And I learned all this stuff between my studies and going and hanging around with people that are doing it. All right. So that's one thing that you need to do. Yes.
Develop a 20-minute program.
Get a good solid program that you can deliver at Rotaries, Kiwanis, anybody that will listen, and get so good and so polished at it. Customize it, start practicing your customizing, and then go out and give it to whoever will listen. And I don't care even if it's not the right audience, give it and keep giving it and keep getting better and being able to adjust on the fly when things are happening. And that's how you get good. See, I'm 2,000 paid presentations at this point, all right? That doesn't count all the stuff I did for free for Kroger's when I was a spokesperson for them for almost nothing, just to get out there and be talking and be able to always have something to say. So as much as you can do to get good will pay off. Yes?
What's your average keynote speech?
Average what?
Length?
Usually about an hour, yeah. But I went to Hawaii one time for 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes in Hawaii.
The program was shortened, or they?
No, that was just it, 20 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was 11 hours flying. Yeah.
Tom, you said develop a 20-minute program. Why would you work on first developing a 20-minute program when if you're being hired for a fee, it's probably going to be for more than 20 minutes?
Because right now we're talking about a beginner.
Okay.
Yeah, something to start with, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, this Speak for Money is just a general for people that aren't in the business to give them an idea of how to make money and how you do this, all right? So you got to start somewhere. It's hard to start at 60 minutes, yes?
when you went to Hawaii,
Mhm.
did you charge for your flying time or your stay?
No, I didn't. That's one thing. My fee schedule is just, now I do charge for overseas, but it doesn't count for Hawaii. And I wanted to go to Hawaii, so I didn't make a big deal of it. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you speak for money. Those are the things you need to do. Package yourself, develop a program, get better at it, get all the tapes and all the things that you need. Yes?
The last point you made about your fee schedule, you said your fee schedule includes everything?
No, it's plus expenses, but she asked if the time involved in the flying was added, but I did not add for time at that point. But I would add $1,000 at least for like a Europe or anything else, but it's hard to, you know. What's that?
It's downtime.
Yeah, it's 3 days for me even to do Los Angeles. So I usually schedule a lot of other things while I'm doing it, while I'm out there. So that's how you speak for money. We're going to do some quick marketing next for the more advanced how you do it. So let's go right into that without delay.